Hi, I'm Richard from Numark. You're here at DJ Kit TV. So today we're going to talk about the new MIXTRACK PRO from Numark. We're going to talk about the software that comes with it. We're also going to talk about some new very exciting software that's just become available. So here it is. You just bought the MIXTRACK PRO. What comes out of the box straight away is the usual instruction manual, USB cable, and also Traktor LE2. So you can go ahead and install that, start using the unit straight away. And there are other videos available that you can see what goes on with Traktor. However, a new very exciting piece of software has just become available, and I'm going to talk you through that now. Okay, so having installed the Traktor LE2 software and played around with that, I'm sure you're loving it already. So we can now go from the Numark website where the MIXTRACK PRO is, and as I said to you before, we're going to introduce you to this very new exciting software that's become available for the MIXTRACK PRO, and it's from a company I'm sure you've all heard of before called Serato, and the software is DJ Intro. This is a completely free of charge download for all users of MIXTRACK PRO. So you can go ahead and download the software from here and go ahead and install it. Okay, so you're familiar with the features that you've got with your Traktor LE2 software. So this being a brand new piece of software that you can download, let's talk about what the kind of differences are. So just as a straight overview, it's pretty kind of usual. You've got your two deck here, deck 1, deck 2. These you'll see in a minute when I load a track become my kind of running files, and here's where all my songs are, and this is my kind of root directory. So if we go ahead and load a song, just using it as a piece of laptop software at the moment, so we're doing everything from the mouse. There you go, and you can see that both WAV files are there. We've got the usual Serato section here where they minimalise the tracks, and over here I've got my DJ effects. So straight away, let's kind of talk about having already got a bunch of features on Traktor. You gain on using, when you download this software, you gain the process of 5 hot cues, which is kind of a funky feature. We all know hot cues. You can kind of use them in a very similar way to start tracks from multiple points, or you can almost use them as samples. If you get enough of them, and bearing in mind 5 on each track, you can turn your DJing into a drum machine if you like. You also gain the ability to pitch shift up to 50%. That can be quite fun, can give you quite good effects. You'll know already on your Traktor it just goes plus or minus 10%. We've also got very tight platter control, but I'm going to talk about that later on when we get down to the MIXTRACK PRO. We've also got 4 sample slots. These are really interesting, and again we'll talk about them later, but samples really do bring total functionality to anybody who's wanting to do production on the fly, so they're very, very interesting. We've also, on the effects side, we've got a few more effects than what you'll be used to with your Traktor. So they both have the flanger and the reverb and delay. In Serato we kind of call the delay echo. It's slightly different but pretty similar. But on top of, you've also got a high pass filter, you've got a low pass filter, and you've got a phaser. And one thing that you won't be able to do in case you do use it regularly on your Traktor, both software will load all the usual formats of MP3, AIFF, WAV, etc. But if you're a user of flat files, which you'll be using regularly in your Traktor software, that's just one format you won't be able to use in your Serato. But as you can probably see already, you can have both versions of these software installed on your laptop all at the same time and just switch between them. And as you'll see later, your MIXTRACK PRO will just recognise which one it's using at the time. So if you want to play a flat file, then call up your Traktor. For everything else, call up your Serato. Okay, so let's see how all that integrates into your MIXTRACK PRO. Just for anybody who hasn't had a MIXTRACK PRO for a while, is thinking of getting one, or is just fresh got it out the box and are watching this video, let's just talk you over the surface of the unit. Like most DJ products, it's kind of a symmetrical unit from the mixer out. So my left deck basically mirrors the right deck, so every single feature that I talked to you about over here is exactly the same as the one over here. It's just the second deck B, second deck, whatever you want to call it. So we have the play button, the cue button, the sync button. The play button doubles as the pause button. I have my pitch bend, I have my loop buttons, I have my EQ kills, I have my controls for the effects, and all of those features are exactly the same over here. In the middle I have the mixer. This is the mixer, if you like, EQ and gain for deck A. This is EQ and gain for deck B. And then here, which is where we'll start, is the kind of control for the software. And also I've got my controls for my headphone cueing here. So if we look at the software as well as the MIXTRACK Pro, from the browse key you can see that I have control here of my root on the computer. So with this I need to find where my music's stored, and then just one press of that button takes me straight over to the files within that folder, if you like. And this is where I'm going to select a tune. So we'll choose that one. I press load A and it automatically loads it to deck A. And if I choose another tune here, press load B, that loads it into deck B. Okay, you'll automatically see that the software is queued it up. It's right on the beat for both players. So if we introduce the track, gain and the master control, we're good to go. Pausing the track, you'll notice there is a kind of vinyl deck slowdown. This is kind of a realistic feature. Okay, anybody who's played on vinyl decks will be used to that kind of feature. Just makes us all feel at home rather than it being kind of digital. And also pressing the cue button will set that as a cue point, and I can manually, obviously doing this normally in my headphones, I can take us right back to the beginning of the track, and there's the cue point set again, and so on. And the same thing on deck B. Now I talked earlier on about the tight platter control. It's a kind of a feel thing rather than something I'm going to be easily able to explain on a video. But I asked you to try it, to kind of compare it on your Traktor software versus your DJ Serato software. You'll just find that again, it's one of those kind of real things. I'd almost dare to say, if you close your eyes, you'll think you're on a vinyl deck. You kind of, as your hand moves, the track's right where you'd expect it to be. And that's what we mean from tight platter control. It's something that Numark worked quite closely with Serato to achieve, and therefore it's going to work across all of the controllers that we will introduce with the Serato DJ Intro, MIXTRACK being one of them. Okay, so next feature we'll look at is the sync feature, or they call it the beat matching feature. So let's load up a couple of suitable tracks. And we've got a kind of quick slow start on this one here, look. So bearing in mind we'd be doing this in headphones normally, but let's just set a nice little cue point up on that track. And this one's kind of one of those tracks that starts off and then later on we get a bit of a drop. So let's just pause that right now. You'll notice that the tempo here, one's at 140, the other one's at 128. So we're playing the 128 one. So when I press the sync button on deck A, which applies to this track here, radio edit at 140, you'll notice that changes straight away to 128. So that's now set the tempo. We could have done that manually via the pitch shift if you wanted to, but the button just does it for you. Let's get the track playing again, and then hopefully I'm going to be on time and just introduce the track when the beats drop. Okay, so DJ did his job, go get him a beer. Okay, so we're going to run this track as before in the kind of dropout section, introduce the next track, but as I said, we're going to just do a black mistake, make it slightly late, and one press of the sync button will rectify the problem. And there we go, we got away with it. Thanks MIXTRACK PRO.